Hi everybody, this is Claudio from Realpolitik Games. I'll go straight to the point, but first let me thank our first subscribers. We really appreciate your support. In many strategy games, civilizations and settlements are mostly numbers. In Conquerior, cultures and settlements influence each other continuously. We are going to show and discuss the main relation that we thought for this game. A typical first distinction is between traits and abilities. When we talk about civilization, traits represent long-term characteristics. Let's say language, religion, inclination of a culture, while abilities represent material stats or levels, for example in economy, in farming, industry, technology, army development, and so on, reached in a specific moment. Starting ability, including population and money, are the input values that get processed together with traits to produce outcomes and actions. Let's unlink that simple relation and rebuild the deep mechanics below. As real history, different religions may have different attitudes towards work ethics, material life, peace or war inclination. Regime. Each political system may produce different effects. Some will pay more attention to the development, for example, of agriculture, while others will invest more in army, and others will be more or less diplomatic. Not exactly a bias in this case, but still influences relationship with other civilizations and settlements. Combining and mixing all of the above, we have choices, investments, research that may influence abilities, and again, new abilities will serve as next input to be processed with traits, and this loop repeats itself every turn. These biases don't force outcomes, but they influence probability, multipliers, tendencies. Out of today's focus, but built on a similar logic, choices will have effects in diplomacy, international relations, alliances, up to war declaration, making some room for settlement logic, and guess what? We find the same subdivision again. Let's link the two diagrams for now. Unsurprisingly, the typical relation between civilization and settlements has to do with investments and foundation on new settlements as output, and taxes, wealth, recruits received from settlements as input. Little room for feelings here. Direct material relationship. Talking about settlement traits, each city or village has its own language and religion, that of course will be the same of the civilization that founded it. But if a settlement changes side, conquered in a war for example, it will still keep its own cultural roots, and this will make a difference for the conqueror, as the different religion and language between controlling civilization and controlled settlement will produce frictions in the relationship. Conquest does not reset identity, it adds tension. In a similar way, different political regime may be more or less easily tolerated and accepted by the settlement population. A fourth bias we may add for a settlement has to do with its development level. Again, if a population feels that its village or city is underdeveloped, other friction in relationship with controlling civilization may appear, while civilization investment may reduce this effect. Okay, so if the material development of a settlement is mostly civilization driven, what's the outcome of abilities traits process for a settlement? Basically, unrest level. Unrest that above a certain threshold may lead to riots and eventually to a revolution, which may overthrow the controlling civilization and found a new one. What's important here is that none of this is scripted. Revolutions are not events, they are consequences. They emerge from the continuous interaction between civilization and settlements. This is where the diagram ends and the game begins. The player won't control this world from above. He will live inside it, making choices, inheriting tensions, and dealing with outcomes that were already in motion. The system already runs on its own. Development, Now focuses on letting the player meaningfully interact with it. Thanks for watching. More updates soon.